What is up, guys? Would you guys consider using a gentleman's agreement for cards like Max C, Dimensional Barrier, hell, even Ash Blossom? Before we get into that, cue the intro. Alright guys, so let's get straight into the topic. Obviously, we're going to be talking about a gentleman's agreement. I'm going to talk about what a gentleman's agreement is, how this relates from past formats, and how you could possibly use it leading up to either this current format, or leading into the WCQ format for us, which is, I believe, July 7th to the 8th, or the 9th. But anyways, so what is a gentleman's agreement? So basically, a gentleman's agreement is where two players basically come to an agreement among each other and say, hey, do you want to side this out, right, for game 2 or something? And your opponent may not actually main deck the card, but I mean, if you're siding it or you have it in your sideboard, will you take that? That gentleman's agreement. Do you want to get that upper edge against your opponent because you sided it against a specific matchup? Now, how does this tie into from past formats? For anybody who does not know, there are two formats in the past from when I played for gentleman's agreements, and Dragon Ruler format was actually one of those gentleman's agreement situations to use a gentleman's agreement, because a lot of people used it for Vanity's Emptiness, Return from a Different Dimension, as well as Sixth Sense. I don't think that card's going to come back, but you never know. Then you obviously had the Netcross format, where obviously it was popular with the Dijin Lock, and a lot of people were like, hey, do you want to side out the Dijin Lock? And I feel like the gentleman's agreement can possibly be good in a sense, because it shows how a player can get out of certain situations, depending, either it's a mirror match or it's a certain matchup. But I think it shows a player's, skill without using specific cards. And going into this specific format, whether it's now or it's the new ban list, whatever you want to call it, I feel like you can use it with cards such as, obviously, Max C. You have Ghost Ash, which obviously your opponent's not going to want to side out Ghost Ash because they want that advantage of stopping you in your tracks. And then obviously you have Dimensional Barrier, because I noticed a lot of people were actually starting to side Dimensional Barrier because of, obviously, True Draco. And, you don't know what your opponent's going to be doing. But my reasoning for, let's just say for Max C, the fact that Max C1 is still a card and it is not hit on the ban list, if it did, that would be literally history. I don't think there's ever been a hand trap that's been on the ban list. But the fact that Max C is at 1 and it gives you so much card advantage, even over your opponent, because, I mean, it's like, okay, in a sense, it gives you card advantage, but as well as you could possibly deck out. But my argument with Max C, possibly with the gentleman's agreement, is just the fact that, yes, Max C can give you card advantage over your opponent if you're going second and your opponent doesn't know what you're playing. Let's say you are playing a Kaiju engine or a Kaiju variant, and let's say you got all this card advantage playing against Zoo, and they're not playing My Body's a Shield or really anything, and you have Kaiju Slumber or a Kaiju, Kaiju Slumber, everything is gone just because of the fact they wanted to try and make a board wombo combo, and then things happen. As well as Ghost Ash, this card should not even be a card in this game. Just the fact that if you use it, you just stop your opponent in their tracks or mid-combo, because they just can't do anything. They're forced to pass. And then, like Dimensional Barrier, as I said, people are actually siding it a little bit more. So it's like, do you really want to use a gentleman's agreement, depending if you're main decking it or even side decking? Like, in that instance, if you wanted to side, like, you have it in your side, your opponent's like, hey, do you want to use a gentleman's agreement to side deck or side out Dimensional Barrier. That's when you have that choice to either think, hey, do I want to say that I don't play Dimensional Barrier in my side, or what? Do I want to get a higher end against my opponent and just side it in? Because your opponent doesn't know that you have it unless you both are playing it in the main deck. So let me know in the comment section down below, would you guys consider using a gentleman's agreement for a specific card in this current format? I really feel like this current format is leading into a triangle format because it reminds me of 2015 all over again, to where you had Netcross, you had Burning Abyss, you had Shaddolls. So it's literally like, it's 2015 almost all Nats all over again. We have a triangle format. There could be something that might pop up to sneak in to break that triangle format, but that's nonetheless. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys actually think about a gentleman's agreement, how you guys would go about using it, and would you actually end up using it. If you guys did enjoy the video, smash that like button. It shows me that I'm actually doing something right, and you guys actually enjoy the content, as well as if you guys actually have videos that you guys want me to try and do, comment down below as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. As always, this is Young Breezy. I'm out. Deuces. What is up, guys? This is Young Breezy. Because a brand new video today. As you guys see here, I'm bringing you guys a matchup on DuelingBook of Burning Abyss Zoo versus True King Dinos. Obviously, you don't see any.
I'm here. I'm doing pretty well. I got a day off of work, so just living, making content. You know, the usual.
Yup. So, for anybody who does not know what the Impact Series is,